good evening, and today we meet again, and but in a different condition and different status because nowadays that COVID-19, that means coronavirus, has been spread all over the country, and we are in a critical condition. But I hope and I hope all the infected fellows will be getting healed as soon as possible. Okay, anyway, we need to carry out our education stuff as well as. Okay, now today, as I get some kind of special request, so I'll be like to explain you and show you what's actually going on like in the PHP side. I mean, what's PHP, because your web module, I mean, SM3 Web 2 module basically consists about PHP server-side environment. So I'll be explaining you what is PHP and how to build the basis diagram. I mean, not diagram, sorry, not how to create a basic program with PHP and what it goes for. Okay, first of all, I will explain you what is that PHP environment. So PHP is a server-side environment. So what is a server-side environment? So when you are concerned about server-side environment, so it could be taken, and there are in the system there are a few kinds of architectures between them. So one is repository model, and you'll be learning in software engineering module. I mean software engineering subject topics. And other one is client server architecture, and that layered so we'll be giving up that layered architecture and repository model. So the only thing and the best approach, I mean best application in the software development field, I'll be considering out for server client server architecture. So that PHP environment can be taken as a server side environment with the manner of client server architecture. Okay, and this is PHP server environment. So which are the other languages that can be taken for server-side environment? So I'll be guiding you, and the and one is .NET C#. No, first I'll be taking Java EE, and Java is another language that can be used to develop server-side environment also, and we can use .NET C#. .NET C# environment, and those are the widely used server-side programming environment for client-server architecture-based environment. I mean, basically, web approach of software development. So this is a client-side. It's just like a normal and HTML, CSS, and JS consists for, and this is the server-side environment. And nowadays, for now, I'll be explaining you what is that PHP server environment and how it works. Likewise, and a basic program using PHP server-side environment cover up all the syntax and stuff to face your exam only. And this is not very good practical to be a industrial worker from PHP server-side environment, but it only consists for some kind of web module to cover up the web subject area of your SM3 web. Okay, and now you get idea what's gonna happen with that PHP, and I'll be explaining you. And now we'll be creating a client side. So now I'm following the software engineering methods of development, as well as I'll be teaching you. So this is client side, and also we can build up the client side, and that should be HTML file consist of CSS for my styling stuff, and JavaScript for my engine stuff, I mean backend of the client side. So, and this is my client side application, so it shows us the view. I mean, if you are opening a web page, web browser, and going for a website, so you'll be seeing a view, and that is that. But there should be a server who serves to that HTML client side page, so that the data and the database connectors and the database and the server side, and there should be a server who can send the request, who can get the request and who can send the data and the connection between them. There should be some kind of server, so I'll be using the PHP for the time. And also we need to have some kind of example CS client side, HTML file to get introduced in front of you. So, and this is my HTML file, and here likewise for my example I'll be using it as web2.html I'll be using for. Anyway, I'm using for my server-side environment application. This is my server-side environment application, and it goes off to I'll be renaming it as web2.php. So the thing is gonna happen is now we're gonna send request from client side, because we should have request some kind of data or something else from the client side, sorry, server side, and likewise we be and here likewise, and we be connecting to them, and I'll be putting some kind of arrows between them to show up. Okay, and this is the stuff, and this is client side, and this is the server side, and we be connected through and transferring data between client side and server side. So this should be a very this should be a dynamic environment who can process our request and give up the feedbacks, give up the result for the request. So, and this is client side, so I'll be coding some kind of examples of client side and the server side also, and I'll be showing you what's the real application of PHP server side environment. So okay, good. Now I'll be choosing, so we need to have some environment settled for that server side evaluations, server side testings, and also client side. So we should have, because if you have coding a HTML file, so it's useless because it's a local file now. So we should have to put it to a server environment and check whether what's going to happen. And for that, and in Windows environment, you'll be having a local host server, testing environment for client server architecture model that can be used as WAMP, and WAMP means Windows Apache, yes, and Apache, MySQL, and PHP. And if you are installing a WAMP in your Windows PC, so it will be automatically install Apache server, Apache web server, and MySQL database server, and PHP server with it. So we can test out PHP in that with the WAMP installation. It will be automatically install the PHP engine also. Oh no, another point. So if you are going to install, if you are going to use up some PHP script or documents here, and then what's going to happen is, now someone should be here to read out these PHP files. Someone should read PHP files and execute PHP codes. So who does this? And actually that PHP engine works, execution of PHP script, PHP codes, PHP sentences, everything else, PHP functions, anything else. There should be a guy who knows PHP well, and that is that our PHP engine installed with our with WAMP. Okay, and you can turn on the WAMP server-side application environment, and you can use PHPs as well as. So what is this Apache? And Apache, you have learned in Web 1 module what is Apache, and also here wise. So the client side cannot directly talk with the PHP scripts, and there should be an intermediate layer to get connected and handle the requests sent by the client, and that is done with Apache. And this is Apache, and likewise this is Apache, and I'll be using for this is Apache. Okay, and what is this? This is Apache, and client side sends requests and requesting from the server side, through Apache, web server from Apache, and it will guide you to the PHP script that you have written in the server side environment, and then process some kind of process here, and just returning back some kind of data to here again. And there are three kinds of server client request types. Request types. Yes, there are no other words. And one is static request. And another one is, are we getting two copies from this? Yeah. And another one is dynamic, and another one is dynamic plus db MySQL. I'll be switching for MySQL for our business of software. And dynamic plus DB MySQL connected request. And also now we should have another guy here. Likewise, I'll be choosing him as our database, and here, and I can do like that one, and I'll be creating up those guys stuff from with me, like, and no, I'll be reusing. I mean this object oriented procedure. Yes. Now this is my database, and I'll be connecting my PHP environment to the database, and also can have a database and store my data within it. Okay, and this is like to be likewise. And okay, and now we have learned what are the basic concepts of using PHP server-side environment. Okay, now let's gonna convert this model diagram to our working environment. I mean actual coding environment. Okay, first of all I'll be considering for my client-side application. Okay, and I'll be choosing okay, first of all I need to introduce you. Instead of using WAMP, I'm using in here SHAMP, because I'm using macOS, and also the SHAMP is platform independent manufacturer from Vietnam. I think you don't want to consider about it, but this is compatible with my Mac and also with Windows, but you use WAMP instead of because of the subject area, and good. And now my localhost server site, my localhost server address is 192.168.64.2. So then and I'll be and this is my localhost server. Okay, you see SHAMP, Apache, MariaDB. MariaDB is as well as equal to MySQL. DB is a rewrite version of MySQL. Don't care about it. It's also like MySQL, but PHP and Perl I don't know, and PHP is our guy. And then I'll be going to the root folder of my web application server development environment, and that is can be taken as, and I'll be going for worms and explode. And yeah, and this is my htdocs, and in this my root directory, and this is equal to www folder, and this is equal to that equals to WAMP 64. Actually that equals to WAMP 64 folder, and in here as same as www folder I'll be having htdocs. Okay, good. In that docs folder I'll be creating a directory named I'll be using web2, and this is my directory web2. Yes, here is my web project. I mean it's my new web project web2 folder inside this, so I can have my all client-side applications, all server-side scripting applications, I mean PHP files, HTML files all around I can put here. So as my code editor I'll be using Atom. Don't care, you be using VS Code or something else like that, I don't know. Anyhow else you can even code with Notepad also, doesn't matter if you have, it's your personal choice. Okay, now web2 is my project, and at least I should now I've been considering for this server-side application, client-side application at first, and then I'll be Atom, and I'll be using new file here, and just I'll be saving it first. And where should I save it? And I'll be saving it my applications, and not applications. I'll be having my this one lamp. Yes, and this is my server environment and htdocs, and this is my folder web2, my project folder, and here I'll be saving it as my web2.html, and I have saved it. Okay, no, I don't want to score right now. Okay, and this is my project folder web2. Okay, and as well as instead of localhost, and this is my localhost. This is actually a private IP address, doesn't matter, this is my localhost anyhow else. Okay, and now I created web2 folder, and inside of it I'll be creating my client-side application web2.html anywhere else, and in I'll be choosing now this is my localhost, and my folder was web 2. Yes, this is my web 2, and inside that I'll be having web 2 HTML. Have you seen those? This is my folder and this is the file. You see, now it's not a local file, it's running on through a server environment. Now I've been running it. Okay, it's empty because I have write nothing. Okay, now I'm gonna write, because first of all, now I should have to create a HTML document, and here guys. So this is so quick, but you don't want to do this as well as, and it's better if you are using some kind of procedural method of writing. I don't know. Okay, inside the body I should have to write out a form, and form, yes, a form, and this is my form. And do actually, if you are coding some kind of file, and do keep your coding manners inside this. And this is my body, and I'll be using some kind of tab here because of the identification, easy identification and readable codes. Okay, anyhow, first of all I'll be putting my method basket because it's showing up what's going on here. Okay, form, inside the form I'll be putting an input field here, and this input field is text input field, and keep those like that. I'll be explaining later, and the value also likewise. Okay, I'll be clearing those fine. Okay, good. And this input field, and afterward I'll be giving some kind of label here, and and label I'll be erasing the 4 because of it's not useful here guys. And I'll be name, and this is my label 1, and I'll be copying this and reusing the codes as well as if you want. And but this time is no, and I'll be using age, yes, age, name and age, and I should have a button for submit, button to submit that form, and I should have a button, and I'll be using button, yes, button, and button type is not button. I'll be using as a submit button for this form, and this button is this button is standing for to submit this form. And you need to check the identification understandability perfectly. This button, when we click this button, and this submit button, so elsewise, and then if we are be clicking that button, this form should be submitted to the server-side environment. Now I twicely, and second time I'm explaining, this is a form, and inside that form there are input fields, text fields, anyhow else, and labels also. And to submit that form, we should have a button inside that, and this is the button. You don't write this button outside from the form, because this button should be considered for submitting the form only. Okay, and because of that, you encapsulate that button between these form tags. You clear, I think. Okay, anyhow else, I'll be giving a button button text label here, button text, and I'll be here add student likewise. And for the better view, for a better preview, for a better view, and I'll be using some kind of which one, a legend, not legend, sorry, a field set, and I'll be having field set, yes, and inside the field set I'll be putting my field set, my form, and this is my form instead of, okay, and likewise, and this is my form, and inside the field set I have put my form, so that form should be executed and form should be shown inside the field set. So inside the field set I'm using a legend here. Legend means the name of the field set, and legend I'll be using for student register. Likewise, and now let's check out if our view is gonna be right. Okay, this is my cells. Also I'll be refreshing them. Oh yes, it has perfectly done, but there are a few kind of errors, because this is likewise this is not a vertical form, no, this is a horizontal form. We should have to give a break, so do something. So let's try out this. And giving breaks is not a software engineering method of putting down the second element to the bottom line, and it's great if you are using CSS here. So input field is inline element, so I'll be making it as a block element. So how can you do that? So I'll be using inline style methods, online style equals which kind of display is display, and I'll be using it block. I'm blocked, and now that should be, because initially from the birth and that input text will input fields will be shown as inline elements, but I forcefully put them as block elements to make the full width of the display. So let's check whether let's try out it's gonna happen likewise. Yes, it happened. Now this also some kind of erroneous situation has come, because we should have to invert those. After label we should have set our input text, because otherwise it's like to be like untouchatic. It's not suitable. Okay, now let's check. Okay, now it's gonna happen. Name, age, and assistant, and button is here. So so that's gonna be I'll be showing you. So okay, and here now my client side application is so much okay. I'll be erasing those. Yes. Okay, now my client side application is okay. This one. Now I'm going to create up my PHP server side environment, that is web2.php. And how can you draw those? So and this is my PHP environment. Now I'm going to consider in 4. Okay, and now I'm going to create up this PHP server side, and this is a very basic application you need to consider about. And here I'm creating inside that web flow, so for your better learning, to reduce the learning curve of this, I'll be using instead of web2 folder. And here guys, I'll be creating another file like web2.php, and this is web2.php. and where is it? Here guys, and this is my web2.php. here is created. Now it's client side application here to get the request and connected with the server and to connect with database. Also we having another server side environment file like web2.php here. Okay, good. Now we should start our PHP. So this is a new approach of your coding environment rather than this HTML you are very familiar now. But here it's like to be new. I don't know, there may be a lot of guys who is expert in this, but I'll be considering for lower level students here. Okay, first of all we need to start a PHP file like this, that lesser than mark and question mark and PHP. This is the PHP PHP script identification tags. So with inside those we can write out our PHP files. Good. Now I'll be teaching you. So now, and this input text may have some values here, a name and age. So we are filling out my name. I'll be choosing Janitha, and I'll be filling my age as 25. Now these values set by me need to put into server side and into a database. That's the basic concept, basic flow of what I'm expecting from my system. No. Okay, and when we are filling my name as Janitha and 25 here, so if I put add this from button here, so it should be stored in the database. So somehow no. So this is my client side application. So now I'm going to do is getting those text field values, not getting, like putting those text field value, text field files, not files, that values into a server side environment, server side script. So in here, into that manner, I'll be using a PHP script. So this is my PHP script. So how can we get connected those values? So this is my input fields now. So how can you get connected this input fields with my server side? There's a procedure, because when we are creating this form And here I be using this class is like to be like CSS fine we don't want. And form action, so this action, and we should have to mention my server side PHP file to here for the to get connected with my client side and server side. And my server side application was web2.php, and this one, and web2.php, and here is my file. So when you are filling my data, when I'm filling my data into those input fields, and like here, and they will be passed to that web2.php. So where's my web2.php? I fear. Now we should have some kind of method to get those values sent by the client side, and there should be a method. So we be considering for them. And but here again, oh wait, this is good, splitness. Yes. And I'll be splitting them. No, I'll be closing them as well as I'll be putting here likewise. Okay. And when we are submitting this form, these values will be passing that PHP file. Okay. Now I have mentioned here method is get. That means I had to get my PHP. I had to get my values. Those text field values in a get array. And I'll be explaining you what is get array. Okay. And I'm going there. And here guys, and I'll be getting them. Okay, good. Okay, and there are some kind of services, service type to get connected with client and server side applications. So there are 4 methods. So one is get, and other one is post, another one is put, another one is delete. So those are the methods which can be used to transfer the data between client and server side, like here. Okay. Now if we are sending our data with get method, so that will be passed like as get array to the get. We can get those values from the get array with that web2.php. So here, so we have sent that our form details using a get method to a web2.php. So in here we can get these values, input field values from here, from that, and they are called like super global arrays, and this is get array. Okay. And this is the client side, this is server side. So I'll be sending those values through get method and to that web2.php. So I am searching that web2.php. Here is get array likewise. Here this is the get array, and this is called, as I'll be commenting here, this is called as super global arrays. Super global arrays, these are called super global arrays, and other ones are super global arrays. And now we should this get $post, the other method, and these are rarely used. $put and $delete. Okay. And these are the mostly used, mostly used common super global arrays. So in here, in that manner, I have sent my details into get array, and here I should have captured them with get array. So now how can we identify and how can we identify in that text field this value has sent with which name? And that manner, this age 25 has been sent with which name of, which is 25 and which is Janitha. So we should have to check them here in client side. So here's an attribute like name. Now Now this is my name, input text for name field now, so I'll be using as name. And here is my input text field for age now, so here I'll be using as age. Now those values, those input text field values will be passed to the get array of the server-side environment with the name of name and age. I mean, here they'll be getting likewise name equals Jonathan, like that. Okay, and I'll be catching them no name. So what is that name? Name is the input text field name of the client side, like here. And when you are filling some kind of data into that text field, so it will be passed to the server side like name equals like this. And this is my data got from the server client side now. So now we are putting it to another variable here, dollar name. And for instance, I'll be using capitalized variables here as to point out this is server side variables and this is client side variables. Okay, now the other one is, and I have sent two values now, so I'll be copying this one, and the other one is age. You see what's gonna happen? Okay, and I'll be choosing the variable as name. So in PHP environment, we are putting our variables like this. This is the variable declaration of PHP, $age and $name. We should have to import $mark in front of every variable to tell that PHP to that is a variable. So these are my two variables which I use for name and age. So those variables were getting filled with my name and age passed with the client side from name like name value pair as name and age. But currently as the instance, I have sent Jonathan 25 to this, so it will be put into those fields and will be passed like to here, and name and age likewise we be getting the data. So, and these are the PHP data now. So now we should have to echo and see whether echo. Yeah, I've been now another fact to teach you. And here in PHP, to get printed some value, like as in JavaScript, document.window.alert likewise, and we are using in PHP that's echo, and Java you have used system.out.println likewise. So in here in PHP manner, I'll be using echo. So echo, I'll be using echo $name. That means this $name is now my sent name with the client side now. So I have put into the get method, so that will be put into get array, super global get array, and as name. So now inside here it's Janitha, and now my name is Janitha, my age is 25 here. So it's like age as 25, because I'm putting those kind of inverted commas. I mean inverted commas because they are strings now. Yes, because I have sent these strings here. So, and this is echo name, and otherwise other one is echo my age now. $age. Now that's going to complete. Now thing that I've done is sending from the client side as name, my name text field, it will be going as name, and my age text field, it will be going as age. To here I have captured them with get array, name and age. Okay, now what should we do? Now these variables are filled with my name and age. So because in that get array there are my because this get array is associative array, so I'll be informing you what is that array combinations of PHP. And here wise, and there are two types of array in PHP. one is indexed array as same as that we are using in JavaScript and Java. The other one is the newbie one is that we are using in PHP environment are associative arrays. And that is taken as an index array and associative arrays. So index arrays, you know that we can access as from the index of the each location. I mean here is A and B and C here wise, and I can address them like and this is, and I'm using instead of pointing with this one. Okay, and this is zero index. Okay, and this is first index, and this is first index. Index 1. Because in programming language we are starting count from 0 now. So this is 0 index and this is first index. But associative array, in associative arrays it's getting difficult. Not difficult, it's getting changed. The manner is, and as same as is likewise here. But I will get it down. I think you understandable. And it likewise name value pairs are here. So first one is name equals what are you using for name equals Janitha and age equals 25 and likewise. And these are the associative arrays. That means there are name value pairs. Instead of 0 and 1 as index access, two names. What is name? What is age? Likewise. So here we should access what is 0 locations value, what is first locations values. But here is different, and we can access through the name. We can access by the name. What is my name? What is the name in that array? What is the age of that array? And likewise. Okay. And by the way. And now here this these get, post and put delete arrays, they all are associative arrays. They all are, and they all are this kind of associative arrays. Likewise, they all are associative arrays. But in here, in that manner, when we are writing our PHP document, so in here we need to get we can get to those get arrays name value for now. That name value pair is here wise because I have sent to from the client side now. So it's like here name and age and name and age. Okay. Now let's check whether it's gonna happen or not. So when I click the submit button from the client side application HTML file, and it will be jumped to the web2 PHP file because I have given the action as web2.php here likewise. And now I got the get arrays value from here because I have sent it to get method here, and echo name and echo age here. So let's check. Okay, I'll be refreshing this and I'll be sending Janitha and 25 24. It's okay. Yes, it's printed. Now you see it's not my HTML file anymore. So see, now here's HTML web to HTML. When I click the install form button, registration button, it will be jump into the web to PHP file. And what are my query string? What are my query string? That is name equals my one and age equals that is the names that I use for input fields, and to the get array directly passing 4. Okay, here what is the button equals empty null. let's check with it. So where's my button in my HTML? Here, because I haven't given any kind of value to my button. It doesn't matter, so I'm choosing new value, same button likewise. So if I use that line again and 24, I use Z. Button is same button because I have used my buttons value as same button because this is values, no? 24 Janita values no here. Now likewise, okay. And this is like to be perfect for a example, as a basic example for PHP and server side connected to getting connected between the client side and server side and PHP and HTML, and how could I pass data. So now I'm gonna explain another method, that is post, and that is post method. Okay, and let's check what's gonna happen. This is my gem file and Janita 24. Oh, it's nothing because undefined indexing, web2 name age are not found in here. 3 and 4, you see, this is my error coordinations. So what could be happen? And because I have set as my method form submission method to post, but I search my variables in get array. Now they are in post array. So if we are searching for post array, so they be found. And also likewise, and and 24. Yes, it's happened. But you see, now query string is not here. I mean, my data, my values are hidden inside the HTML document and passed to the server side environment. And that is the difference between get and post, because post one hiding the data and encoding into the HTML body and passing to the PHP server side environment like this. Okay, now you have learned how to pass data between client side and server side, and also variable convention of PHP, and these kind of super global arrays, and echo function. This is echo constructor, and also we can have we can put commas and give echoes, like it's gonna happen. But there are two kind of echoes in PHP environment. One is echo function and one is echo constructor. So if I use echo function, for a one time you can give only one argument inside here. So you will have to use echo function. Okay, and this is actually ugly now, so I'll be choosing a break here. So to input a break, so it's easy, and I'll be importing a break here, and it is tag is br and a break tag. Oh, what's gonna happen? Here I forgot to put semicolon inside this. Yes, it's happened because I have put a break, because I have echoed a break tag, HTML break tag with like this. And the construct syntax here, so it's like work. This is working. I'm sure now. So likewise. Yes, it's happened. Okay, and how you learn some kind now, because there are a lot to learn, and also this is supporting follow while and anything else, if false control structures and everything else. Now and from other tutorial I'll be teaching you how to connect with database, and do some kind of database manipulation activities from the PHP server environment. And that here we have some kind of packages like MySQLi. This is